Namaste. All right, YouTubers, back again, channeling Shiva, as usual, every day. Today we're going to talk about intervention is addiction. Not being addicted to the show that you all perceive on TV, but intervention is addiction. Sounds confusing. We're going to explain it. All right, so addiction here is very hard to deal with. This guy knows what addiction is. This guy's been hooked on weed, crack, alcohol, coke, acid, you name it. He's played all sides of the fields of addictions. Okay? Now, with addiction doesn't necessarily just mean drug related or alcohol related. Addictions can be as simple as what you guys might call obsessive compulsiveness is a form of an addiction. And intervention is addiction. And why I mean this is that what intervention is to intervene in something that is always ongoing. So you have to put a stop to it. So you intervene. Intervention is an addiction when there's a divine perspective as an intuitive. So what I mean by this is that intervention is addiction from a divine intuitiveness, from a divine perspective. Okay, so we think about addictions with food, we think about addictions with money, we think about addictions with sex, addiction with drugs, alcohol, addiction to MOBAs, addiction to World of Warcraft, games, online multiplayers. There's always a form of some type of addiction that everybody needs some type of intervention as an addiction from a divine perspective and initiative. Okay. Now, when you think about the show Intervention, we'll pick on this for a second. Let's talk about the show Intervention. As we watch things in material matter that you guys have created through visual light show projection is something that we always intake because everything's being recorded through his eyes. And so we see the show Intervention and we see it and it's like it helps. And we hate to say that. It helps sometimes. Intervention is an addiction. There's always some type of form of an intervention from some form of addiction. The thing is that everybody's addicted to life here. That's the problem. And intervention is addiction from all perspectives, whether it's be divine principality or hell hierarchy. There's always something that is causing intervention to lead to addiction. We're all addicted here to something. Doesn't matter what it is. The one thing that we're all addicted to is breathing. Breathing. It's an uncontrollable, natural brain response of your lungs pumping and filtering air. That as molecules, carbon dioxide, oxygen, all these atoms. You already know what it is. And it helps us be able to sustain here. But people are addicted to it. So intervention is an addiction. How? Well, there's always something intervening to your inner truth to make you an addict. There's always an intervention about you trying to find your way out of here. So you still become an addict like everybody else. And everybody's addicted to something here. Again, whether it be sports, whether it be extreme aerobics, whether it be fasting, whether it be purging, whether it be being a bulimic, there's all forms of addiction, guys. And there's always something intervening to create an addiction, to keep you guys going. And we're going to talk about demons for a second. Demons like to intervene in everything in your life. So when you want to break addiction, they find a way to intervene into your life to recreate addiction in some format. So this is why when people say marijuana is a gateway drug. Kind of is. If marijuana isn't working for you, there's an intervention that happens that inspires you to do something more addictive. Bad enough we have to breathe in this dark matter. We're automatically addicted to it. There's only divine intervention about us that makes even us addictive. Okay, so let's go to churches. Anybody can be addicted to church. You've seen it all the time. You have parents or aunts or uncles that's nothing but holy rollers, and then here you got to go spend the night over at their house and then get God shoved down your throat nonstop. Well, intervention is addiction from a divine initiative and intuitiveness. So when somebody has their life straightened out where they don't have drugs involved, they don't have alcohol involved, and the only thing that they know how to do is maintain their household and worship the Lord. There you go. And that's what we mean by this video. Intervention is addiction, where we intervene into your life to make a possibility positive and an outcome in your situation. You give it up to God. And that's truth of addiction that you need to be addicted to. Okay? And we like to intervene in your life to make you see God in a different perspective. You know, if you're not God-fearing or God-knowing, somehow God is in your life and always intervening to make you somewhat addicted to their presence or our presence or his presence. And when I mean theirs, I mean angels. I mean Daikinis. I mean Davis and Davies. All divine beings. We want y'all guys to be addicted to something that is more truth than everything that people keep telling you that's getting you to be addicted to some type of format, whether it be technology or whether it be I don't know, what's something that people are addicted to here a lot. Here we go, Pokemon Go. We talked about this on the last video. And there's something intervening in your life to make you do something to be more addictive to, or addicted in a sense, like Pokemon Go. People can't help themselves. So intervention, again, is intervening to put a stop to something that is a continuous cycle. So if you've been a good person and you've been doing good all your life and you've been going to the Lord and you've been going to church and you were going to Buddhist temples, somehow there's an intervention that comes into your life that stops you to get you to be addicted to something like sex. Think about the movie Samsara. If y'all don't know about it, and I'm not talking about the artistic one, I'm talking about the one in 2001 that came out by Indian that created this film, Samsara, about a llama that got addicted to ass. He got away from the temple and got addicted to another type of form of samsara. There's an intervention. It's all about visual cortexing. He saw this female, he was compelled by her, and he would start to become addicted. It's easy. Anybody can be addicted to something here. It's not hard. And there's always some intervention or plan or something intervening to make you more addicted to something else of some form or degree. Whether it be the Walking Dead series, or whether it be, which isn't good for your mind, whether it be somebody influence you to do a new drug, or somebody that's trying to influence you to do base jumping, cliff diving, or any of these dangerous situations that by man's creation keeps things in place, but anything in here can happen, so do not trust this place. But there's always an intervention that causes addictions to something else. Because this place is upside down world and backwards land, and everything that you guys are learning, you need to unlearn. There's spectrums of color and palette and sound that you guys do not hear or see in this place that you're trapped in between. That forces you to be addicted to something that's always constantly intervening and always causing an intervention of another form of addiction. Whether it be the new Call of Duty game that everybody's hating on. People are still going to go on multiplayer and play it and still be addicted to it to some degree until zombies come out on this new Call of Duty franchise. Now we're going to talk about people that go to rehab or people that get locked up, what I was talking to him earlier about. All right. Fighting addiction is hard enough as it is. It's very extremely hard. And fighting addiction can lead to sanity or insanity. By saying this is that we're always living in a state of what's next. All right? We're always living in a state of what's next. We don't know what's going to happen next. That's the beauty about us divine, is that we always keep you thinking, trying to obtain faith. But tell this to a person that gets locked up and goes to jail or prison or the workhouse. Well, all of a sudden God is in the play. Now all of a sudden guys start going to faith. I mean, society has lost faith in man. You lost faith in man when you went to that judge, and then all of a sudden he slated you, and then you get a number for 2 years, and then you go upstate or you go to Lebanon or somewhere to a penal system. You get locked up. Then all of a sudden you find divine intervention. Then you start becoming addicted to being influenced by the works of Muhammad and the Quran. So you become Muslim in jail, or you find God in jail. Okay? Then you guys pray to us about breaking your addictions, like crack or weed or alcohol. And here's what happens. Once you guys get out of jail, out of your prisons, you go right back to it. This guy did the same thing when he was locked up. He prayed to us and said he quit marijuana, but look what he did. As soon as he got out, he got some weed. All right? You all guys lie to us all the time. You're addicted to lying to yourselves. And there's always something in your brain that intervenes, that causes some type of intervention, that causes another form of delusion that you also too are addicted to. So everybody's living in a state of delusion of self-realization and self-preservation, which is also an addiction. And there's always something intervening in your life, causing some sort of intervention to get you addicted to something else. So if you start doing good for yourself, then something bad comes to get you addicted. So when a guy gets out of jail, he made all these promises to us about cleaning up his act, going to God, going to the Lord, quit smoking weed, and go right back to the same understanding. Okay? So when you're taken out of society and put into an inner society that has you bound and constricted from your normal routine, then you become de-addicted, or you're not as addicted because you're not really focused on it. Unless you're just demon born and you just got to have it. Even when you go to prison, you still got to have your coke, you still got to have your weed, you still try to live the outside life inside an inner space that's here to actually teach you or convert you to a simplistic understanding of sobriety. But even in jails and workhouses, there's still drugs. There's still always something enabling. So anyways, when you get out of jail, you go right back to the same rut. It's hard for somebody, a tiger, for it to change its stripes. Once it gets released, it's going to go back to nature when there's convenience for addictions. So you go to your local weed man, you go to your local coke dealer, your crack dealer, and then you just start buying up supply again, and you start going right back into the same understanding of being an addict. And something is intervening from your learning process of being sober, locked up for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you slip right back in downward spiral into the same hole. Something has intervened in your life of your righteousness to make you fall down the path of unrighteousness. There is an intervention happening that is causing another form of addiction after you done healed yourself. Same with people in rehab. Now, people that have people to help you, that intervene in your life in a rehab, and then get out of rehab and don't regress, don't go back to the same understanding. Now you have divine intervention as another form of addiction, because now you know truth within oneself with inner peace. Nobody here is peaceful. It's all about shanti. It's all about peace. And if you don't have inner peace, you're just not peaceful. You're a mess. And then you got to fall into the same suit of addiction. So this is where meditation comes into place, when you take away the worldview and you block yourself out from what they're trying to feed you as far as the visual signal goes. Then you don't fall for it. Then you break addiction. So meditation can help you break addictions. Prayer can help you break addictions, but you're the only second half of you putting your best foot forward. So it's like this. You can pray on your hands and knees all you want to God about helping you with addictions. We listen, we try to guide you. But you guys are the decision makers. Y'all make the decisions. We don't make them for you. We just inspire you to do the right thing by listening to the inner voice in your consciousness. As your subconscious, as we always are, you guys don't listen. So then you end up in jail. Then you make promises to us about quitting your addictions. Then you get out and get right back into the same rut. Okay? So now lying becomes an addiction, and there's always a demon intervening, telling you another signal to believe into that truth that you fall for. It's all psychological here, guys. And you have to know the signals in your head to be able to be your own self-intervention, and to be addicted to something that is your self-truth than the truth that people try to portray to you guys. So wake up. Peace out.